Welcome to the 12-Minute Leadership Podcast, where in 12 minutes or less, I'll share small things that you can put into immediate practice that will make a big difference in your leadership effectiveness. I'm your host, Elise Boggs-Morales, leadership professor, consultant, and coach. For the last 17 years, I have helped thousands of leaders level up their influence and achieve remarkable results. If you want to trade compliance for true commitment and create your dream team, you are in the right place. Get ready for a quick hit of practical wisdom to increase your team's engagement, inspire top performance, and retain your best talent. Ready to level up your influence and get better results? 12 minutes starts now.
Hi everyone, Elise here. Welcome to episode 11. In episode 9, I talked about how to rebuild trust as a leader. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful frameworks for building trust as a leader. If you have not watched author Brené Brown's talk on the anatomy of trust, I highly recommend it. You can find it on her website and also YouTube. And in her talk, she breaks down trust into 7 measurable components using the acronym BRAVING, BRAVING. And in this episode, I'll share each of the 7 components and show you how you can leverage each one to strengthen people's trust in your leadership. So let's jump in. B stands for boundaries. Trust begins with boundaries. As a leader, that means being clear about what's okay and what's not, for both yourself and for others. Here's an example. Let's say you have an open door policy, but your team is constantly walking in when you're in deep work. Setting the boundary that you're available from 2 to 4 for check-ins honors your needs and theirs. People trust leaders who are consistent and clear, not endlessly accommodating. Boundaries also means respecting your team's limits, not texting them after hours unless it's urgent, or checking in before assigning a stretch project during a busy season. If you want to level up people's trust in you as a leader, pay attention to boundaries. R stands for reliability. Reliability means doing what you say you'll do, not just once, but over and over again. This one is about consistency. Here's an example. If you tell your team they'll have your feedback by Friday, follow through. And if something comes up, communicate that in advance. Nothing erodes trust faster than saying one thing and doing another. Reliability also shows up in how you handle challenges. Can your team count on you to advocate for them, to own your mistakes? Consistency builds confidence. And a personal note on this one, I hear a lot from leaders that the younger generation's reliability in the workforce is inconsistent. One thing to check first is whether you as a leader are modeling the behaviors you expect from others, and are you holding others accountable when expectations aren't met early? To increase people's trust in you, reliability is key. A stands for accountability. This one's huge. Accountability means owning your mistakes, apologizing, and making amends. And you also hold others to the same standard. Here's an example. Let's say you miss a meeting because you double booked. Instead of brushing it off, you say, "That was my mistake and I realize it impacted your time. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again." And when someone on your team drops the ball, hold them accountable respectfully. Let's talk about what happened and how we can correct it. Trust grows when people know mistakes aren't ignored, but they're also not weaponized. So if you want people to be able to trust you, accountability is a must. V is for vault. Vault refers to confidentiality. Can you keep private information private? And just as importantly, can others trust that you won't share someone else's story with them? Here's an example. If a colleague confides in you and they're struggling, and you casually mention it to someone else, even with good intent, you've broken the vault. In leadership, that means not talking about one team member to another. It also means holding sensitive information like performance issues or personal challenges in confidence. Trust requires psychological safety, and that begins with the vault. I is for integrity. I love Brené Brown's definition for this. She says that integrity means choosing courage over comfort, doing what's right over what's fast, fun, or easy, and living your values, not just professing them. Here's a leadership example. Imagine you're under pressure from upper leadership to hit a target, but doing so would require bending ethical lines, like manipulating data or pushing your team to burnout. Integrity is saying no, even if it's risky. It also means modeling what you preach. If you ask your team to show up with transparency, you have to be honest too, even when that honesty is uncomfortable. N stands for non-judgment. Non-judgment is the ability to ask for what you need without fear of being judged and offering the same grace to others. Example, if a team member admits they're overwhelmed or needs help, do you respond with support or silently penalize them? As a leader, are you willing to say, I'm not sure how to handle this, or I need help prioritizing? Trust thrives in environments where people can be human. Leaders who are approachable and humble make it safe for others to be the same. And finally, G. G is for generosity. Generosity is assuming the most generous interpretation of others' words, intentions, and actions. If someone sends a short email that feels curt, do you assume they're mad, or do you think they're probably just having a hectic day? Generosity and trust means giving people the benefit of the doubt. It's pausing before reacting. It's believing that others are doing their best and asking clarifying questions instead of making assumptions. So there you have it. Braving, boundaries, reliability, accountability, vault, integrity, non-judgment, and generosity. Trust isn't built in grand gestures. It's built every day in the micro moments, day in and day out. And as a leader, your ability to practice these 7 elements shapes the culture of trust around you. So as we close, I invite you to reflect. Which braving element comes most naturally to you? And which one could use some intentional effort this week? So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If it sparked something for you, consider sharing it with a fellow leader or team member. I'll see you next time.
Like what you heard on today's episode and want to go deeper? Subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode. You can also pick up my book, Lead Anyone, on Amazon. Then, go to my website to check out ways that we can support your leadership goals. From executive retreats to customized training and coaching, my team of experts will help you level up your leadership and accelerate your results. Go to www.eliseboggs.com for more info.